It was the most astonishing. I have done a couple of big American movies, but this one was closer and more personal. Brian Taylor's control of the set and of our performances was just amazing, and Jack Kesey was just wonderful. For me, we filmed in Bulgaria,
Yeah.
and I had never been to Eastern Europe before. And that was an adventure in itself. But the 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 kind of location and crux of the story actually happens in underground in a mine. I mean, it is astonishing, and it's where my character, the darling Reverend Watts, blind, gets meets his maker. But it's quite something, yes.
Yeah, and always what makes a good movie is an evil entity. And I couldn't help but think about this character, the Crooked Man, and think back to the wonderful Friday movies and Freddy Krueger and the whole sort of resemblance to that. And you almost get that sort of Freddy sort of feeling in terms of that this is an entity, dare I say, that can't be killed and is on a different purpose. And if you let your guard down 1 second, you're going to meet your maker, the Grim Raker.
Absolutely, yeah, jam indeed. But I mean, the thing that you forget as an actor acting in these things, that there are moments when, I mean, especially in the mine, where something unexpected happens. I mean, you rehearse the scene, and this is what's going to happen, and then something happens. You go, "Oh my God, I'm in a horror movie! It's scary!" Things like that, and that's the magic of it. Sometimes the director will outline the scene to you, but not give you the detail of it, and then as you are playing it, you know something is going to happen, but you don't know when it's going to happen. You know it, where it might come from, but you don't know when it's going to come. And it's that, so you're walking down the mine, and something is going to happen, and we got to be in character and within the kind of intensity of the story, and then something jumps out of the air and gets, oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. Cut, let's do it again.
I suppose Joseph, with that sort of good humor in mind, your character, Reverend Watts, dare I say, he's put to the pin of his corridor collar. Dare I say, that's a good word to say.
Yes.
Put to the pin of his collar
Oh,
in terms of trying to sort of resist the temptations, the lurches, the dark evils that are coming there, and he's a man that seems to be plagued, dare I say, with everything that goes with it and everything. He's a guy that seeks comfort but will never have comfort.
yes, he is I don't know. I was going to say infested, but it's really plagued with temptation. I mean, the thing about the Reverend is he kind of puts across the our moments of fear, our moments of knowing that something, we have the Holy Spirit protecting us, and yet within our human selves, we doubt, we don't believe, and so the Reverend is constantly tested in the movie, and I mean, it's quite something. I mean, he knows he knows that. Oh, I can't give the story away,
Yeah.
unfortunately. He knows that there are entities and around, and he knows that in church, you are protected, but you're not. And it's not that it has to do with the solidness, the constancy of your faith. And the moment doubt comes in, you've had it. And that's what the poor Reverend suffers from. Every now and then, doubt, doubt, doubt.
And I suppose what struck me about this is the whole concept of possession, being possessed. And there's this movie really starts off with real graphic scenes of possession. I think it's a raccoon that baby goes into the mouth of a woman. We see the whole sort of internal organs, the whole sort of combustion, the whole anatomy coming into play. And it's really sort of graphic. It's really sort of sets the tone of the movie in terms of the whole supernatural effect, and it really brings you to. They're really sort of well delicate. It's like frame by frame, these sort of pieces where you get. They don't rush through it. It's slow to sort of bring on to antagonize the sort of
Yes,
torture
the
that these
tension
characters go through.
builds slowly, slowly, slowly. But and I mean, it's I don't know. It's a quest. It's a journey, and these characters go on this journey that is just terrifying. And it's not just a bunch of people locked in a castle and there's no, there's none of that. It is actually a bunch of people traveling to find the answer to a question, and they are spooked to high heaven on the way. I mean, just yeah, surprising things happen, and of course, my character's end is something
And I know, Joseph, you're very much a classical trained actor. You have earned your stripes for many a decade. But how are you getting used to this whole sort of green screen technology, the advancements in green screen, and being able to have to try and envision something in your head? Gone are the days where a prop might come out of here or this sort of thing that you have to work on. And nowadays you have to try and picture what might the directors and producers have in mind in terms of your own head, and then you get to see it back and you're like, wow, did that really sort of happen? Is it a sort of changing landscape? Are you very much in touch with it now, or does it still strike you as that bit odd or strange?
it's a little like people asking when you're in a play, are you nervous before you go on? And without that nervousness, there's nothing. There's no electric. There's no magic. The lucky thing about working with the green screen is that um, the director is really precise, very clear about what he wants. So he explains what has come before this moment, and he explains what might happen after that moment. So you get your time to build, to use your imagination, and of course, to try to remember what you did at that time on the set or in the jungle where you were filming for that moment of green screen. And the astonishing thing about it is that when you watch it, when you watch the finished product, you go, oh, I don't remember any of that. Ah, so that's how he. Oh, yes. So he told. Yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's how clearly the director explains his moves to you, so that you can your creative memory recalls that moment, how you behaved. Did you have a raised eyebrow at that time? That kind of stuff. And it's wonderfully challenging for an actor as well, because you kind of you go, my line, my line, my line, my line, where's my check, that kind of stuff, and it forces you to be part of it, because you know that the green screen is one, and there's the revoicing of your scenes. Like this conversation that we've had, the way I've been moving my hands all around, and we might have to redo that, and so that you get what I'm saying rather than looking at my hands. So I
At
have
least
to,
at least they might do AI and change every word we're saying.
don't say that. Don't say that. That's a bone of contention at the moment. Yeah, but the green screen is it's magic. It really is. It's magic. It makes a prince out of a frog. Brilliant. I love it.
And I know myself, I was recently in Romania for holidays in Bucharest in Eastern Europe. The whole landscape of that region is really changing to the film business taking off in like Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia. And speaking to many actors, I spoke to Aaron Eckhart recently, and he told me about his enjoyment of filming in Budapest, how it was different in the lots in Los Angeles, California, and how exciting it was to do something outside of the traditional norm of UK, America, Australia. How was it like for you as well? Do you think that we're going to see a big boom in terms of this? Because it seems everyone who goes to film in Eastern Europe and these places only seems to come back with positive reviews in terms of their experience.
It's mine also. Firstly, in Sofia, I'd walk around the gardens learning my lines and things like that, before the next day's shoot. And I'm sitting there and I'm learning my lines. I'm talking to myself, and this old man who's perhaps 10 years older than I am says, "Hello, how are you?" And we talk. He says, "Oh yes, I'm you from Caribbean?" I said, "Yes, I'm not from Africa. I'm from the Caribbean." He said, I used to teach in the Caribbean. I said, "Really?" He said, "Yes, yes, yes. You see, when we were communists, the French sent Caribbean philosophers to to teach us, and so I returned the favor." And I mean, it's extraordinary. And then, of course, I'm in having a cup of double espresso in the middle of town, and I hear somebody shouts, "Jeffrey!" Inescapable. However, the magic, the kind of care and I don't know, the care that they take with it. I mean, the makeup people. I had to have what do you call them? Contact
Contacts?
lenses.
Oh,
But they had to be in a way that I couldn't see. But of course, contacts get dry. So
yeah.
during a filming day, I mean, every 10 minutes somebody would come and I'd forget, but they'd remember things like that. And of course their skill with the technical side of it, the cameras, the lights, the sound and stuff like that. When the Reverend meets his maker, and I get pulled up, and you see him, and the crows come in and get him and stuff. I mean, that requires a kind of an understanding of what an actor might be going through, and they're great, and of course, most of all, they're not as it's not as expensive as closing down a street in London to close to close a street in Bulgaria. But the other thing is that all those studios are very 1930s, so there are pictures of I don't know, or British actors, Russian actors and stuff in these kind of sepia photographs and stuff. And I mean, it really is. It's and they treat you so well, so well. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, and I suppose, Joseph, we had a quick chat before we came on air, and you mentioned it's a busy time for you in terms of other projects in the pipeline, other stuff going on at the moment, where we might get to see Joseph Marcell on our TV screens and our movie screens, and maybe live in person if you're out and about, maybe having a weekend over in the UK, which many Irish people do from time to time. It's only, well, I say it's cheaper to get a flight to the UK than it is to get a train from north to south of Ireland.
They're probably the same in England as well.
So,
yes,
Joseph,
go on.
yeah, busy times for you.
Yes, it's about to begin. It begins on about. I've had about a month and a bit. I will have had a month and a bit to learn this the St. Mark's Gospel for Bach's Marcus Passion, which I present the evangelist, and we tell the story of Christ's last days, and with the Pittsburgh Orchestra and Chorale. And we open in New York, and then we open in Pittsburgh, then we do a week in New York, then we come to Britain for a couple of, then back to America, and maybe every month or something we'll do a performance somewhere. Yeah, it's great. And of course, I have a movie called Seahorse, a Canadian movie that opens this summer as well. Yeah, so we shall see.
Okay, and Joseph Marcell, keeping fit, healthy, and ever. And do you like you are always a guy who likes to stay active? Is it very much the passion is still burning bright, I see, for you in terms of this sort of to business for you in terms of with everything that's gone on since the last time we spoke? Dare I say, a lot has gone on in
Oh,
terms of the
no.
industry. It's like it's been 50 years ago since in the coming years. Has that passion ever dwindled with all the adversities that we've seen since the last time we've spoken?
Well, yeah, the pandemic and all that, but no, no, the flame still burns, but in fact, the oxygen to keep the flame going sometimes doesn't blow as well as it should. I'm a 77-year-old person now, and the retention, the memory retention, requires a lot of work. And that's I kind of that's one of the things that I kind of think I used to do that without even thinking. Now oh my God, I have to stay up. I have to stay up till 3 to learn this. And all the things that came easy now requires effort. And they say if it requires effort, then it's good. And it's the magic that keeps me. Yeah, it keeps me going. It gets me out of bed in the mornings. It stimulates my mind, forces me to do the things that I'd probably think, oh God, I can't do that. I'm too tired. No, it keeps me, yeah, vital. Yeah.
Okay. And Joseph Marcel, for the final 30 seconds before I let you go, you might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should tune in at various streaming platforms all across Ireland and the UK on March the 14th for Hellboy The Crooked Man. We will see you playing the Reverend Watts alongside Jack Kesey as Hellboy. And when they do turn on whatever laptop, TV, streaming platform, Joseph Marcel, what's in store for them?
Uh, they're in store. They will see a magical movie. I mean, Brian Taylor has done an astonishing work with this idea to the reboot of the old hell, and Jack Kesey's performance is entirely different. He's scintillating. He really is scintillating. And Adeline Rudolph is marvelous, just marvelous. But most of all, I mean, Martin Bassendale's Crooked Man, oh, is a thing of beauty.
Okay.
And it's a gorgeous